You know him, you love him, and you're glad he won't have creepy-looking human teeth in the live-action movie about him. Well, not anymore at least. That's right, today we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I know the movie is going to do its own thing, but every Sonic game tells its own story. I was a little curious to see how they all line up, so today I'm gonna run through the Sonic timeline. Okay, well, not all of the games. There's a lot of Sonic games, and many of them aren't considered canon because of contradictions and inconsistencies and stuff like that. Plus, there's all kinds of comics and TV shows and a bunch of other stuff that make one single timeline a bit murky. That being said, most Sonic scholars would tell you there's two distinct timelines: the classic timeline and the modern timeline. In simple terms, the classic timeline follows the old-school portly Sonic from the first three games, and Knuckles. The modern timeline is all about Sonic's slender redesign that he got in Sonic Adventure. These two cross paths in Sonic Generations, but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's start with the first game, Sonic the Hedgehog. When we first meet our funky blue hedgehog friend, he's already hard at work against his nemesis, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman. Eggman is after the Chaos Emeralds, mystic gems that will grant ultimate power to whoever collects them. Robotnik wants that power for himself, so he travels to South Island to gather them. While there, he also captures local animals, turning them into robots called badniks. But Sonic isn't gonna let him get away with it. He speeds over to South Island to collect the emeralds before Robotnik can. Along the way, he frees his animal pals from Robotnik's evil clutches. Once Sonic has all the emeralds, he defeats the evil doctor, driving him away. The animals are free, the emeralds are safe, peace returns to South Island. Pretty standard fare for a 90s action platformer with a mascot. Cool, but Robotnik's not out of commission just yet. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic continues his journeys and winds up in a place called West Side Island. Here, he meets Miles Tails Prower, the world's cutest two-tailed fox with the best low-key pun for a name. He's a major Sonic fanboy. As more robo-animals emerge, Sonic realizes Dr. Robotnik is up to his old tricks. Once again, the Doc is on a mission to collect the Chaos Emeralds, which are now spread all over this island. By harnessing their energy, he'll use them to power a doomsday machine, the Death Egg. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. And yes, Robotnik, like the Empire in First Order, doesn't know when to quit with this one. Once again, he looks to assemble an army of robot animals to build it. So it's Sonic to the rescue again. But now, he's got Tails to tag along as his new sidekick. If Sonic finds all the emeralds, he can transform into Super Sonic, an invincible, golden version of himself. Well, mostly invincible, just don't get crushed, or drown, or fall into a pit. Okay, maybe he's not that invincible. Either way, the duo track the evil doctor to a hangar in the sky. Tails helps Sonic reach the hangar by piloting a biplane called the Tornado. With Tails in the plane, Sonic must go on alone. He encounters Mecha Sonic, not to be confused with Metal Sonic, just trust me on this one guys, a robotic version of himself created by Robotnik. After winning that battle, he then fights Robotnik in the Death Egg, defeats the Doctor, and completely destroys the would-be super weapon. Unfortunately, he's now falling through the atmosphere to certain death. No worries though, as Tails swoops in on the Tornado, catches his buddy, saves the day, and cements his place as Sonic's right-hand man. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Knuckles. But of course, Dr. Robotnik is down but not out. Sonic thought he destroyed Dr. Robotnik's Death Egg, but in reality, he just knocked it down Humpty Dumpty style and crashed it into the floating island, causing all sorts of catastrophic damage and dropping the island into the sea. Turns out that Chaos Emeralds are what made the island float in the first place. So, Robotnik wants to siphon that emerald power to fix his Death Egg. Sonic and Tails head to the floating island to investigate. While Sonic's in his supersonic state, he gets knocked on his fuzzy blue butt by Knuckles, an echidna who guards the island. Dr. Robotnik tricked this poor sap into thinking that Sonic and Tails are out to steal the island's Master Emerald. Hey, pro tip Knuckles, probably shouldn't believe the guy who's building a massive death machine. Just saying. Anyway, Knuckles hits Sonic so hard that he knocks the emeralds right out of, well, wherever Sonic was storing them. Was it his pocket, his shoes, his mouth? It's a 90s action platformer with mascots, Mario. Don't think too much about it. Anyway, Knuckles steals the gems and it's up to Sonic to collect them, save his animal friends, and stop Robotnik. Sonic and Tails make their way through the land to the Hidden Palace Zone. Here they find Knuckles and his prized Master Emerald. After those two duke it out, Sonic reigns supreme, but before he can celebrate, Dr. Robotnik steals the Master Emerald to power his Death Egg. Knuckles finally figures out that Robotnik was tricking him, so he joins forces with Sonic and Tails. Unfortunately, he isn't too helpful. He drops out due to exhaustion before the climactic series of final battles. But hey, Sonic's got it from here. He has a rematch with an upgraded Mecha Sonic and eventually gets to Robotnik's newly powered-up Death Egg. Now in space, Sonic battles Robotnik and his giant robotic suit. And, once again, Sonic destroys the Death Egg. But at the last second, Robotnik snatches the Master Emerald and flees the exploding Death Egg. So, Sonic goes supersonic, chases the Doctor through space, and reclaims the Master Emerald. And if you collect the 7 Super Emeralds, Sonic will transform into Hypersonic, the most powerful form of all time. For now. Either way, he and Tails return the emerald to the floating island, allowing it to float once again. Alright, so the first 3 Sonic games, and Knuckles, have a pretty simple, linear progression. Really, they're all just variations on Sonic gets the Chaos Emeralds and stops Dr. Robotnik. But now that the classic timeline is good to go, let's check in with the modern timeline, and you'll see real quick that things get a little more wild. Starting with one of my personal favorites, Sonic Adventure. This game puts our blue friend up against Chaos, a being made of pure energy. Thousands of years ago, Chaos once peacefully protected the Master Emerald, the Chaos Emeralds, and a colony of cute little Chao. But one day, Knuckles' Echidna ancestors attacked and tried to steal the power of the Emeralds for themselves. To protect the Chao, Chaos fought back, absorbing the 7 Chaos Emeralds and becoming Perfect Chaos. It almost destroyed the entire Knuckles clan before Tikal, the daughter of the Knuckles chief, stepped in. Using her spirit, she sealed Chaos inside the Master Emerald, ending its rampage. She and Chaos would lay dormant for thousands of years inside the Emerald on Angel Island, floating in the sky. And then, of course, Eggman has to come along and cause problems. He shatters the Master Emerald so he can use the power of Chaos to gather the Chaos Emeralds and turn Station Square into Robotnik Land? Well, at least it's more creative than the dollar store Death Star. Problem is, the Doc wants to make Chaos invincible with the power of all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Each emerald changes Chaos into a different, more powerful version of himself. With the Master Emerald destroyed, Angel Island comes crashing into the sea. Seriously, as the Emerald's guardian, Knuckles really dropped the ball on this one. He didn't even notice Eggman, and when he saw the newly freed Chaos, he couldn't even stop it. So now he's out to find the pieces of the Master Emerald and just kind of put it back together. For the record, Sonic Adventure lets you play as a bunch of different characters, each with their own story. Thing is, they're not all important to the main plot. Amy Rose saves a bird while being chased by the terrifying Sonic version of Mr. X. Big the Cat goes fishing for his froggy pal who's been possessed by a Chaos Emerald. E102 Gamma has an existential crisis and sacrifices himself to save the bird trapped within. You know, fun stuff like that. The most important point is that they all kind of show how the different Chaos Emeralds wind up with Chaos. So by the time Sonic catches up with Chaos, it's wreaking havoc in Station Square. After the police waste a bunch of bullets, because why would you shoot actual bullets at an ethereal being that is made of a liquidy substance? Sonic trades some blows with the creature before it manages to escape through the drain. The next day, Sonic gives Tails a hand after the Fox accidentally crashes his new plane. Soon after, Tails is showing Sonic a Chaos Emerald when Dr. Robotnik snatches it away. He uses it to power up Chaos, setting his whole plan in motion. And so, Sonic and Tails are off to collect the Chaos Emeralds before Eggman can get to them. As part of his ploy, Robotnik tricks Knuckles into thinking Sonic is after the Master Emerald. And yes, Knuckles is that gullible in both timelines. After Sonic knocks some sense into him, he realizes he was duped and teams up with Sonic and Tails. The gang eventually tracks Eggman to his flying fortress, the Egg Carrier. Naturally, Eggman hauls ass out of there and Sonic gives chase. Finally, Sonic stops Eggman in his hidden jungle base. And for a minute, everything seems kind of okay. Knuckles has fixed the Master Emerald, Angel Island is floating again, and Eggman is totally defeated. Just then, Angel Island falls out of the sky again. Chaos attacks Eggman and Knuckles, stealing 6 of the Chaos Emeralds. The last one is in Tails' crashed plane, the Tornado 2. But before Sonic can get to it, Chaos absorbs it, transforming into Perfect Chaos and flooding Station Square. Tikal shows up and tells Sonic he must find a way to seal Chaos in the Master Emerald before the monster destroys the world like before. But turns out that Chaos only used the Emerald's negative energy, so Sonic harnesses their positive energy to transform into Super Sonic for a classic good versus evil showdown. Super Sonic defeats Perfect Chaos, and everyone lives happily ever after, including Eggman this time. Sonic Adventure 2. Okay, so just like the first Sonic Adventure, there's stuff that goes down way before we even get to play Sonic Adventure 2, but at least this one doesn't go back thousands of years. About 50 years ago, the government assigns Professor Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandpa, to Project Shadow. It's a research program aimed at discovering the secrets of immortality. Gerald knows they want to make weapons, but he just wants to cure his sick granddaughter Maria, Eggman's cousin. So he gets to work aboard Space Colony Ark, creating the Bio-Lizard and the hyper-destructive Eclipse Cannon. But his crowning achievement has to be Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form. Unfortunately, the government decides that Gerald's creation is too dangerous, so they send in the none too subtly named GUN, or the Guardian Units of Nations, to secure Space Colony Ark, killing Gerald and Maria in the process. With Maria's help, Shadow escapes to Earth, but the government captures him and puts him in stasis for 50 years. Until Yep, you guessed it. Eggman goes and wakes him up. Shadow has a bad case of amnesia, and all he can remember are his last moments with Maria. So he figures that she sent him to Earth to get revenge or something. To carry out what he thinks are Maria's last wishes, he tells Eggman to gather the Chaos Emeralds and meet him on the space colony Ark. Shadow steals a Chaos Emerald from the bank, but somehow Sonic gets blamed and arrested for the whole thing because apparently all hedgehogs look the same. On the Ark, Shadow shows Eggman the Eclipse Cannon, and they plan to collect the Chaos Emeralds to power it and hold the world hostage. Oh, and Rouge the Bat is also there to team up with them. She's a government agent sent to investigate Shadow. This is a franchise spawned by a 90s action platformer featuring mascots. Anyway, Sonic escapes Gun's clutches to roll around at the speed of sound and butt heads with Shadow, the true culprit. Too bad Shadow gets away and Gun arrests Sonic again and ships him off to Prison Island. Meanwhile, Eggman tries to steal the Master Emerald while Knuckles is bickering with Rouge the Bat. So, Knuckles stops the scientist the only way he can, by shattering the emerald. From here, Knuckles and Rouge race to collect the pieces of the Master Emerald. While Tails is on his way to free Sonic, he saves Amy Rose from Eggman. Once Sonic is free, he and his friends make it safely off the island before a massive explosion. Eggman demonstrates the power of the Eclipse Cannon to the entire world by blowing up half the moon. While Eggman has the world hostage, Sonic and Tails track down the Doctor's location on Space Colony Ark. To get there, the gang burst into his desert base and catch a rocket to space. Once they're on the Ark, they try to pawn off a fake Chaos Emerald to Eggman as a real one. Tails created it to reverse the real Emerald's energy and destroy the Eclipse Cannon from the inside. The fake Emerald plan almost works, but the Eggman realizes it's not the real Emerald, traps Sonic in a capsule, and blasts him into space. It looks like the end, until Sonic uses Chaos Control to teleport back to the Ark. Finally, Sonic kicks Shadow's ass, Tails kicks Eggman's ass, and they stop the Eclipse Cannon, effectively kicking its ass. The Eclipse Cannon is busted, but now the Ark itself is on a path to collide with Earth. But it's not Eggman's doing this time. It was actually Gerald Robotnik who set it to destroy the Earth as revenge for the death of his granddaughter Maria. To save the world, Sonic and the gang team up with Eggman and Rouge to use the Master Emerald to deactivate the Chaos Emeralds in the Ark's core. In the meantime, Shadow has a change of heart when he realizes his promise to Maria was to give people a chance for a better future, and not to mass genocide them. He battles the Bio-Lizard, but before he can destroy it, it merges with the Ark to keep the ship on its collision course. But with the Emerald's power, Sonic and Shadow band together to defeat the being by transforming into Super Sonic and Super Shadow. Together they use Chaos Control to teleport the Ark safely away from Earth. Sonic safely makes it back aboard the Ark, but Shadow is last seen hurtling towards Earth. Sonic Heroes. Okay, stop me if you've heard this one before. Eggman is ready to take over the world. Again. And he claims he has the ultimate weapon to do it. Again. But this time, there's a bunch of characters at work here in a few different teams. You've got Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in Team Sonic. They're trying to stop Eggman as usual. Team Rose has Amy, Big the Cat, and Cream the Rabbit. These folks are on a rescue mission to save Big's pal Froggy and Cream's chow friend Chocola. Then on Team Dark, E123 Omega is trying to straight up kill Eggman. Rouge is just looking for jewels, and Shadow is trying to figure out what the hell is going on and who he really is. And then there's Team Chaotix. They're just on a mission to pay the rent. Seems legit.
Awesome Chaotix.
All four teams go on their adventures, collecting Chaos Emeralds and even bumping into each other from time to time. Eventually, all their paths lead them to Eggman's massive airship. Team Rose saves their friends, Team Dark finds a bunch of Shadow clones, and Team Chaotix finds... Wait, Dr. Eggman? Wait, he's been trapped this whole time? Well, turns out Metal Sonic has been impersonating Eggman and pulling the strings from the very beginning. Alright, fair twist. When Metal Sonic transforms into Metal Madness, the other teams battle it out while Team Sonic harnesses the power of the Chaos Emeralds. The Team Sonic members all morph into their own super forms and take down the fully transformed Metal Overlord, saving the day. Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay, so the day is safe and that's cool and all, but Shadow still needs some answers. So he ditches Team Dark, packs some heat, and does some soul searching to find out about his past. While he's thinking things over, aliens start pouring out of the sky and attacking people. And at first, Shadow really doesn't give two shits. But then, a mysterious alien wizard thing called Black Doom tells Shadow to collect the Chaos Emeralds for him. Shadow figures this guy might know something about his past, so he heads out with new purpose. From here, there's a bunch of different branching storylines, and the decisions you make affect your ending. Basically, every level has three options: Hero, Dark, and Normal. Hero decisions team you up with guys like Sonic and Knuckles, while Dark decisions see you helping out Black Doom and stuff. And the normal choice is always just flipping both sides off and grabbing the Chaos Emeralds for yourself. Different decisions lead to different endings, and there are are 10 in total. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them because they don't even matter. See, once you get all 10, you unlock the real ending called Last Story. When Shadow gives the Chaos Emeralds back to Black Doom, the creature uses chaos control to warp the Black Comet to the Earth's surface. He intends to harvest humans as an energy source. Shadow then learns he is Gerald Robotnik's creation, made with Black Doom's DNA. Professor Robotnik traded the Chaos Emeralds for Black Doom's DNA so that Project Shadow would be a success. Because Black Doom is literally part of Shadow, he can control his mind. But there's good news. Gerald created the Eclipse Cannon as a way to destroy the Black Comet, and an image of Maria helps shake Shadow from Black Doom's grips. Finally, he turns into Super Shadow, defeats Black Doom, and uses chaos control to teleport the Black Comet in front of the Eclipse Cannon. The cannon fires, destroying the comet, and Shadow saves the world once again. With this, Shadow says goodbye to Shadow the Hedgehog. Whatever the hell that means. Look, it's about to get real weird, so buckle up, buckaroos! Sonic 06. We all knew this was coming. Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog are pretty bonkers, but frankly, I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of Sonic 06's story. It's all over the fucking place. There's time travel, and by the end of the game, the whole thing is just... You'll see what I mean in a second. So right at the start, Sonic rescues Princess Elise of Soliana. But his rescue doesn't last long as Eggman picks up Elise and runs off with her. Classic Bowser move. Sonic snags her Chaos Emerald, then teams up with Tails to chase Eggman. Sonic has a little crush on Elise, who explains the Flames of Disaster. She describes them as the rage power of Solaris, the land's sun god, and she's afraid of what Eggman will do with it. Silver the Hedgehog fights Sonic, and he mentions something about stopping the Iblis trigger. Oh, and Eggman takes off with Elise. Again, classic Bowser move, with bonus points for pulling it off twice in the same game. Turns out, Eggman wants Sonic to trade the Chaos Emerald for Elise's release, but surprise! It's a trap! Propelling Sonic and friends into the future. While there, Sonic learns Silver was out to kill Sonic so he could prevent a terrible, destructive future. He also learns that in this future, Elise dies when Eggman's ship explodes. Eventually, with some help from Shadow, Sonic chaos controls back to the present to keep protecting Elise. Unfortunately, Eggman captures her again. No props for a classic Bowser move, that's just real sloppy here, and she's on his ship when Sonic witnesses the crash he learned about in the future. But Silver helps him chaos control to go back in time to save Elise. In this version though, Sonic dies at the hands of a being called Mephiles. This causes Elise to cry, releasing the Iblis, which her father sealed in her soul long ago. The Iblis is Solaris's raw power, and when Iblis merges with Mephiles, it makes him whole as Solaris and creates a distortion that sends Sonic, Elise, and their allies to a strange dimension. Elise uses the Chaos Emeralds and this bullshit to revive Sonic as Super Sonic. Shadow and Silver also superize, and together the three hedgehogs beat Solaris. Solaris is reduced to a lit candle, and Elise knows that blowing it out will destroy Solaris permanently, but will also undo the events that led her to meet Sonic. So she blows it out, meaning none of this ever actually happened. Yeah, I know, Shadow and Silver had their own stories too, but like I said, it never freaking happened. And that's no good. Moving on, Sonic Unleashed. Sonic and Eggman are clashing like usual. Just then, Eggman triggers an energy field to rip the Chaos Emeralds from Super Sonic. Eggman harnesses the power of the emeralds to break apart the Earth, unleashing Dark Gaia. Dark Gaia's negative energy turns Sonic into a werehog. Because if Nintendo can turn Link into a goddamn wolf and make that sell, why not try it with Sonic after how, well, 06 sold? Eggman opens the airlock and Sonic takes a tumble towards Earth. When he wakes up, Sonic meets a small amnesiac creature he calls Chip. Sonic wants to try to help him regain his memories. With Chip in tow, Sonic rescues Tails from Dark Gaia's minions and eventually meets Professor Pickle. The professor shares how Dark Gaia caused the Earth to shatter long ago, but he says there's still time to prevent total destruction in the present since Dark Gaia hadn't been completely reborn yet. They'd have to place the Chaos Emeralds in Gaia temples across the land. So, Sonic and his crew travel from continent to continent, placing the emeralds in the temples. Chip eventually remembers he's Light Gaia and has been fighting Dark Gaia since the beginning of time. Once the gang activates the last temple, Dark Gaia pulls its energy from Sonic. He's not a werehog anymore, but he passes out. However, with all the temples activated, Chip can summon the Gaia Colossus to fight Dark Gaia. Dark Gaia strengthens and assumes its perfect form, because we haven't seen enough of that in this entire series. Good thing Sonic has some experience with harnessing the power of the Chaos Emeralds, as he goes Super Sonic and defeats Dark Gaia, but then passes out. Again, Chip, now as the Gaia Colossus, ensures Sonic is safe and then returns himself to lay dormant as the Light Gaia. Sonic Colors. Okay, so I don't know about you, but even with all the werehog shenanigans, that was a refreshingly simple story after Sonic 06. And better yet, Sonic Colors is even simpler. Eggman creates an expansive, multiple planet amusement park to make up for being such a chump. And Sonic and Tails check it out because that doesn't sound suspicious at all. Suspicious, guys. When they get there, Sonic saves 2 wisps, these floating, bubbly little aliens. He and Tails learn that Eggman is harvesting the wisps' hyper-go-on, a powerful energy source that sounds like a questionable energy booster that you'd find at your local bodega. You know the kind I'm talking about. After rescuing Tails from Eggman's mind control, Sonic destroys one of Eggman's generators. Eggman is using the Wisp's energy to power his mind control devices. So, Sonic and Tails set out to destroy the additional generators and free the Wisps. As the Doctor's mind control cannon collapses, Sonic pushes Tails to safety in an elevator as he stays to fight Eggman alone. After Sonic beats Eggman, the Wisps save him from the resulting explosion, ultimately saving the planets. Meanwhile, Eggman is left to drift through space with his 2 annoying robot lackeys. No, not these 2. Sonic Generations. All right. Here's where the 2 timelines finally meet. See, while Eggman is still floating in space, he discovers the Time Eater, a powerful being that can, well, alter time. So the Doctor harnesses this creature's power for his own evil schemes. Typical Eggman move. First, the Time Eater attacks classic Sonic while he's running around Green Hill Zone. While modern Sonic and his friends are hanging out at his birthday party, the Time Eater shows up and sends them all to different points throughout the series' history. Now it's up to Sonic to stop the Time Eater, rescue his friends, and fix time itself. And he can only do that by finding, you guessed it, the Chaos Emeralds. Thanks to the Time Eater's shenanigans, modern Sonic and classic Sonic, as well as modern Tails and classic Tails, encounter one another. They learn Eggman and his counterpart, classic Eggman, are behind this whole thing, and are trying to use the Time Eater to erase Sonic from history. The Eggmans knock both Sonics down, but their buddies from throughout the past band together to use the Chaos Emeralds to turn both Sonics into Super Sonics. After defeating the Time Eater, modern Sonic and his pals stay in the present dimension, while classic Sonic and classic Tails travel back to their own timeline through a portal left behind by the Time Eater. Sonic Lost World. Alright, so I don't quite know what classic Sonic does from there because now we're back in the modern timeline. This time, Eggman's capturing animals and collecting energy using a group of demon-looking creatures called the Deadly Six. After some run-ins with a few of them, Sonic confronts Eggman. Tails tries to warn him, but Sonic goes ahead and knocks away the conch that Eggman was using to keep the Deadly Six under his control. Now that they're free, the Deadly Six take control of the Badniks as well as an extractor that's draining the world of its life forces. They plan to use the planet's energy to make themselves more powerful, destroying the world in the process. Eggman convinces Sonic and Tails to team up with him, insisting he's the only one who can shut down the machine. Along the way, the Deadly Six manage to capture Tails after he saves Sonic from a trap. While they had planned on turning Sonic into a robot, they'll just transform Tails instead. While Sonic and Eggman are walking over a lava pit, 2 of the Deadly Six ambush them. Sonic starts falling towards the lava, but Eggman catches him and saves him. Sonic watches as Eggman falls into the lava instead. Things are looking bleak. Tails is captured, Eggman is dead, and Sonic can't get in contact with his friends. But just then, the Deadly Six surprise him with a borged-out Tails. But another surprise! Tails was only pretending to be a cyborg. And so they head out to finally shut down Eggman's draining machine, but when they get there, it's already deactivated? Oh, and Eggman appears in a hulking new mech suit. Turns out he faked his death to energize it with his extractor and take Sonic down once and for all. But you already know how this is going to turn out. Sonic beats Eggman and restores the planet's energy force, which finally brings us to Sonic Forces. Okay, the Deadly Six clearly didn't work out so well, but Eggman is still down for some teamwork. The Doctor aligns himself with a cast of characters from previous games including Shadow, Chaos, Metal Sonic, and even Zavik from the Deadly Six. Well, no hard feelings, I guess. But he's also got a new super speed enemy, Infinite. To put it kindly, Infinite and the other villains let Sonic have it worse than the fanbase let Paramount have it after the first movie trailer. As a result, everyone thinks Sonic is dead, and Eggman conquered most of the world in only a few months. Eggman's only opposition is a resistance team, run by Sonic's friends along with a new recruit named whatever you name them. That's your OC Do Not Steal custom character that you play as and have fun dressing up in all sorts of silly outfits. All the other characters just call them Rookie, so that's what I'm gonna call them too. Getting back to the story, when Chaos attacks Tails, classic Sonic shows up from his dimension to help. Meanwhile, modern Sonic is still alive and well, being held prisoner on the Death Egg. But once he beats Zavik, he's free to run around the ship. He saves Rookie from some robots, and the two escape together. Silver is battling Infinite, but Sonic steps in for a rematch against the villain. Infinite wins again, even letting Sonic live since he sees him as unworthy of killing. Whew, disrespectful. After some eavesdropping, Tails and classic Sonic discover that Infinite's power source is the Phantom Ruby prototype, which TLDR is a kind of vague MacGuffin. Anyway, when they confront Eggman, he assures them that they'll all be destroyed in 3 days. So once they run into Rookie, they all meet with the Resistance group to form a plan to stop Eggman. Sonic sets out to find Shadow, who appears to have gone full evil. But it turns out that this Shadow is just a copy. That means all the villains on Eggman's team are copies. What a twist! The team manages to destroy the Death Egg, which they believe will stop the Phantom Ruby's powers. Unfortunately, they didn't count on Infinite's backup power source. Infinite opens up a portal to the null space, planning to trap Sonic there forever. But Sonic manages to escape with Rookie's help. Next, there's a full-scale battle between the Resistance and Infinite's army. Infinite creates a sun to drop on the Resistance army, but Rookie manages to prevent this terrible fate using the power of the Phantom Ruby prototype they picked up a while back. Together, Sonic and Rookie defeat Infinite, and then they destroy the Ruby. Well, a Ruby. Because of course, ever the master of trickery, Eggman is using the real Phantom Ruby to power his newest creation, the Death Egg Robot. And Sonic and pals destroy it. The day is won, the world is safe, and classic Sonic fades back to his own dimension. All that's left to do is repair the damage that Eggman did to 99% of the world. Ouch.
My question is, did they ever fix the moon?
So yeah, that sounds pretty rough, but it has to be easier than covering all the Sonic games. I mean, really, I'm barely just scratching the surface here. But Mario, I already hear you say, what about Sonic CD? Or the Ancient Babylonians? Or the Gizoids? Or the Storybook series with the Knights and the Genies and stuff? That, my chili dog loving friends, is another series for another time. Really, any Sonic game made by Sonic Team could be considered canon. I just didn't have time to get to all of them. And look, we all know Sonic gets a bad rap sometimes, and I'm definitely guilty of taking a few jabs at his lovably over-the-top adventures today, but hey, real talk, even as a flag-waving Nintendo kid from the 90s, I also love me some Sonic. Lord knows I'm still jamming to the Saturday AM theme even as a grown-ass adult. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the Leaderboard. All players are welcome here. I've been your host, Mario Bueno, and hey, if you want some more Sonic stuff on the channel, let me know, all right? See you next time.